My friends, I'll never forget years ago, around, I want to say it was certainly before 9/11, before 2001, 2000, maybe, when I first was introduced to a world which I thought was so fascinating. It was a world of what was called conspiracy theories. And there was a guy at the moment, at the time, and his name was Alex Jones. And Alex Jones was a guy that everybody thought really nothing of at the moment. I mean, he was okay. He was kind of interesting. He didn't yell, he didn't scream, he didn't do a lot of stuff, but he was very, very popular. And he would talk about things which basically all turned out to be true. I'm going to leave it at that. We're not going to go through all of them, but there was at the time this development of these people, which I found a home with, these wonderful, great people called the conspiracy theorists. And one thing Alex was talking about was this thing called New World Order. Okay. And the globalists and the New World Order, the New World Order this, the New World Order that. And they kept saying it over and over again. And I wasn't sure exactly what they meant by the New World Order. But I didn't know. Nobody really minded and nobody cared because it kind of made sense at the time. So whatever. By the way, William Stracina, thank you so much. William is our new member of Lionel Legal. Thank you so much for that, my friend. So as it developed, I started to look into this, and New World Order was a term that was used by everybody from George W. Bush to what's his name, Brown from Scotland to Kissinger, you name it. Everybody used the term New World Order. The globalists. He talked about the globalists left and right. It was the greatest thing ever, and I loved it because nobody else was discussing it. Nothing about it sounded far-fetched. Nothing of it sounds strange. None of it sounded weird in the least. None of it. And then as I found out later on, there was this group called the Bilderbergs. And this is a thing which I found to be the most interesting. What the hell are the Bilderbergs? Who are these people? And then we found out about this fellow named Jim Tucker. And then Jim Tucker and Alex Jones used to work together, used to work in concert. And they would always go and they would identify members of the Bilderberg group as being in the New World Order. Okay? And they said there's no such thing as a Bilderberg group. What are you talking about? This is a conspiracy theory. This is what I found myself just absolutely loving because I'm thinking, I've got to know more about this. What do you mean it's a conspiracy theory? Didn't even know what it meant. I didn't even know what it meant. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the weirdest. I said, what is a conspiracy theory? Who are these people? Who is conspiring? Because me being a lawyer, I'm looking at the actual term conspiracy. Well, it was a term of art, which later on we found out was developed and expanded to deal with the notion of crazy. It was a way of saying crazy. You're crazy. He's crazy. They're crazy. That's what conspiracy theory means. Crazy. It doesn't mean a group of people actually conspiring, a group of two or more people confederating, conspiring, arranging, agreeing to bring about some type of no. It's not that at all. It doesn't work like that. It's something else, something completely different. Okay, fine. Still, I don't know what the hell it was. The notion of globalism came about. Saying, what is this globalism? What does this mean? Well, it turns out, my friends, that now, and I want you to listen carefully, every single thing that we have been told, every single thing since the, really, I hate to tell you, since Trump was elected, is now officially true. Bobby Kennedy is saying things about vaccines and vaccinology and immunization and CDC and NIH, which turns out to be true. Dr. Bhattacharya is true. Marty McCary, true. Everybody is true. Everything we're learning is true. We thought that it's almost 100% guarantee that 2020 was stolen by virtue of the data that we're seeing. Every single thing we have been told, everything turns out to be true. Everything they denied, everything they said wasn't true, everything they refused to deal with, every single thing, everything turns out to be a lie. Every denial. So right now, we are in a position where we're going to be able to do something. And I mentioned this in passing, but I try to say it again. Crypto Domini, thank you. Crypto says was by design. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go a couple of things here. Understand this? And this is very, very important. Number one, we're going to see a drastic change here in ways that are so wonderful, so great, so welcome, so terrific, so glorious, so magnanimous, so beautiful, that I don't think we're going to be able to even appreciate how great they are. Number one, you are going to see for the first time in a long time, the Republican Party actually respond politically to our enemies. Let me give you an example. On our channel, Lionel Nation, I talked to you about this woman, New York State Senator Liz Kruger. Liz Kruger wants to secede from the country. Liz Kruger has this idea that she, for reasons I don't understand, wants to secede from New York. You hear what I'm saying? Now, what do you think we should do with someone who wants to secede? You understand? What would you normally do? Is that seditious conspiracy? Is this insurrection? These are the same people who wanted to prosecute the president for for basically daring to contest the 2020 election. He was not responsible for any trespass, any failure to get a parade permit, anything along those lines. He was not responsible for any of that. But yet they wanted to prosecute him. Let me ask you, what should we do with a Liz Kruger who wants to secede? Isn't that interesting? The very thing they're talking about the president conspiring, being a part of, where they wanted to put him in prison. That's what we're doing. Now, what we're going to see is you're going to see an attack group. My friends, we've talked about this for a while, and I'll say this to you. AIPAC is a group of people, which is basically the Political Action Committee, the lobbying group for Israel. Irrespective of what you feel about them or Israel or the Middle East or Palestinians or anything along those lines, irrespective, I say to you the following. They are so effective. They are so smart. They are so brilliant. They've understood exactly what needs to be done And they have created the most ardent, the most fanatical, in some cases, Zionists, the likes of which nobody has ever even thought possible. I mean to tell you, they are rabid. AIPAC has created a system in which they can say anything, and I mean anything. And the United States Congress will go along and say, you betcha, here's a pen, just fill your name in, sign that blank check. Crypto Domini says there was never nature and cause to his alleged crimes, but we need to show on the record all the collusion. Absolutely. And the first thing we have to do, crypto, my dear friend, is to understand that we have to fight back in terms of politics. You've got to make sure that we go after Kruger, Elon Omar, Adam Schiff. Why is Adam Schiff? Why wasn't Adam Schiff absolutely? Steve Garvey, basically, if this was not a setup, there is no such thing as a setup. Steve Garvey, who ran against Schiff. It was one of the most ridiculous things I have ever seen in my life. They should have put in 10, 20, 30, 50 million dollars to destroy that man. That's what AIPAC would have done. That's what the Democrats would have done. What do we do? Nothing. And I say we, I include myself. I'm not a Republican, but I throw myself into these Trump group, I guess you call them. What do? Nothing. We watch Fox News or see a good meme or maybe turn to Joe Rogan. That's important. But rule number one, there has to be a political shock troop. There has to be a political a group of people that goes after these folks. There has to be a political way of dealing with this, a political way of targeting those people that stand in our way. That's number one. Number two, there has to be heads roll. Can you think of one reason why Tony Fauci is not in prison? Can you? Can you think of any reason? Any reason? Tell me why Tony Fauci is not in prison. Why? Why does Bill Gates, how is Bill Gates allowed to do this? How is Bill Gates allowed to involve himself as the self-appointed custodian of our health? Everything you've heard about him involved in depopulation and conspiracies to whatever will all prove to be true. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. We sit back and we pretend, oh, no, because every single thing that we've said turned out to be true. And let me also tell you what's important to know. They have said specifically when Mark Zuckerberg goes to Mar-a-Lago to meet President Trump, he is begging for forgiveness. He wants out of this deal. All of social media platforms, all of them were a part and parcel of a group of people who were involved in groups like InQtel, those people who put together, those people who combined to form social media. So what they do is they take this thing that you love, they take this thing that you use, that you believe in, and what they do is they control it without asking you anything. Do you mind this? Do you care for this? No. They absolutely, positively do everything in their power, everything, to control this. This is ours. What you're seeing right now is a public utility. Streaming platforms. Don't tell me that one particular group, that one owns it. Don't tell me that a private internet company owns this. No. We have to reconsider this and reframe this as a public utility. We have to also get rid of Section 230. Those days are over with. I want you to understand this and grasp this, and do me a favor. Turn off Fox News. I know people love to watch Gut Bucket, and that's great, but that's for children. If you want to play with children, Watch away. They're never going to be discussing any of this because the Murdochs own them, and the Murdochs are going to do nothing to harm their bottom line. Okay, the Murdochs are not our friends. They're not on our side. The Murdoch family hates Trump, hates him with a passion. You know it, and I know it. So we have to have a political strike force. We have to put people in jail and prison. We have to do something. We have to stand our ground, and we have to say something and not do a lot of talking. We do a lot of talking, and we're great at talking. I'm good, but I don't have the wherewithal. The president now is going to be in charge of the Department of Justice. He's got people. He's got Rogan and others involved, and the Democrats are going crazy. I did a couple of pieces tonight. Rob Reiner has quit Twitter. I don't know why anybody cares. Who does this man think he is? Quit Twitter, drop dead, dry up. I don't care. AOC is going to be running in 28. She's 30. She was 35 in October. If you think AOC is going to be some kind of a joke, if you think she's some kind of a lightweight, you don't know how this thing works. And that's the problem. Because we have people who speak for us who look at these folks as kind of like we don't like them, or they're not cool, or I don't know what the word is. We kind of laugh at them like, oh, she's just really? Put your money next time on Gavin Newsom. That's where it's going to happen. We came this close, my friends. We dodged a bullet with Gay Mala. This close. And we can joke all day. We can talk about how drunk she was, whether she's drunk because she's on pills and she wears the same clothes and all that stuff, because we think that making fun of people somehow translates into some kind of a positive vector. We believe that laughing at people, we do. It's this incredible thing. It's like we're it's like the child who's been given this little car seat, with a fake steering wheel, and the baby thinks he's driving. That's where we are today. We're in a world right now where things are changing so drastically. Try explaining to people what's happening in Ukraine, and they don't understand it. Understand the good news is that Putin is able to use some hypersonic weapons, which may be by virtue of kinetic force. It looks like lightning the way it hits us. Do you understand what we are looking forward to? Do you understand where we're going immediately? Do you think that the Democrats are going to sit back and let Trump succeed? You're out of your mind. Let me tell you something right now when I'm going to bring this to your attention, and it's very, very important that you notice this. I have been sponsoring a company called My Patriot Supply, and my link is preparewithlionel.com. And when I tell people this, I'm saying you better have something stacked up. I am telling you right now, I don't know how you do it. You better have food and water and gravity filters, and you better be ready to go. And your little bag of banana chips and jerky and your fishing pole aren't going to help you, Daniel Boone, because they are not going to take this sitting down. And remember one thing, as I tell you all the time, that little exercise we had with a dock strike, they didn't settle that. They just postponed it. They just interrupted it. Now, this is Black Friday today. I don't know when these deals are over with. They've got right now the greatest, bar none, water filter that is available today that you are going to need drastically. And people I see in their garages, they've got the weirdest thing. They've got a sled. They've got a bike that doesn't work without a chain. They have a pool table. They have these things that nobody really understands what they're there for. But if you said, what do you have in terms of emergency food? They have no idea. So if you're interested, preparewithlionel.com, because today, Actually, I think tomorrow, well, Monday, it's over with. It's just it. Now's the time to act. See, that's the problem we have. We have people who don't really like to hear about the truth. They really don't like this. And it's one of those things where, and I run this, I do. People think that, if we just change the way we think about stuff, things will get better. It doesn't work like that. Now, the thing that has to be done, that President Trump and this Congress has to do, is remove vaccine immunity and Section 230. How can you have a substance? How can you have a product where there is no threat, no concern, no anything, when you put out a product that may not be tested, as Bobby Kennedy is saying, and all of this stuff now, which they hated you for saying, now people are saying, okay, well, that's true, because of Bhattacharya and others. Thank God. I mean, I can't believe this. The rules have changed, and those same people on Fox News, remember, they're not your friends. They were the ones who were just they laughed at Joe, including that rat bastard Fredo Cuomo, who laughed at Joe Rogan. Ivermectin, this is inert. I was on with Dr. Drew the other day. They were recommending ivermectin to pregnant women. It's nothing. And we sat back and we made fun of him until he became the biggest thing anybody's ever seen. Now they're paying attention. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to understand something. For the love of God, ask yourself, why are you watching cable news? Everything that you need to know is on the internet. It's either being streamed, or it's online, or it's a website, but it is not on cable. Cable is dead. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is not a joke. I'm not trying to be exaggerating here. It's dead. And they're not your friends. And they're not going to help you. And they have no interest in anything that we're talking about. They don't care anything about the truth. They don't want to know about geoengineering or 9/11 or anything, nothing. They are the limited hangout. They are the biggest frauds. They get in the way of us actually getting to the bottom, getting to the truth of what we need to know. And if you think I'm exaggerating, you're missing the point. You can sit around and watch this Greg Gutbucket all day with typhoid and all these other people and laugh and tell you nothing. They only talk about the stuff which is okay. Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. Simple things. Make fun of Hillary. Make fun of Kamala. Yeah, she's drunk. There's Howie Brown. He's a new member. Thank you, Howie. It's okay to make fun of those people. That's not going to get us anywhere. That's not getting us anywhere. We have to understand something, that we have to be able to stand up and say, number one, new Congress, we have to say, we own the airwaves, whether it's on cable, whether it's streaming, whether it's the internet. You cannot shut people's speech down. You don't own free speech. You can't do this claiming you're a private company and this is your gizmo. And if you don't like, come up with your own Yahoo.com or whatever it is. Come up with your own email. It doesn't work like that. And we can't sit back and take it. We have to demand. This is a new rule. You have duties. Nobody said in the old days. Remember when you had to, every year you had to get to validate and verify and re-up your license, to broadcast. And people could come in and look at your files, and you owed a duty. Who in the hell are people telling me When I say something, I've got somebody from Wikipedia, that bullshit. The first thing they tell you in Wikipedia is that this is not, uh, what am I saying? The truth, or this is not accurate. Look at this Wikipedia. Non-authoritative. Have you seen this? It says Wikipedia. Right off the bat, they say Wikipedia is not a reliable source. This page is about using Wikipedia as a citation for itself. It is not a reliable source. I'm reading. Wikipedia is not a reliable source for citations elsewhere on Wikipedia or as a source for copying or translating content. As a user-generated source, it can be edited by anyone at any time. And it goes on and on and on. But yet we sat back and we let those rat bastards sit there and judge us and basically say, yeah, we can, it's Wikipedia. Wikipedia means nothing. Same thing for Snopes, PolitiFact, any of those others. And they came up with this nonsense. Well, that's misinformation, disinformation, data information. What is this? And we sat back and we took it. The same way we took everything about 6 feet away, stand on the adhesive strips, wear a mask, do like this, 7 o'clock, you can open up the window. We were like children. We were lemmings. It was the most ridiculous. It was the most horrible affront to my sensibilities that I ever even thought possible. How you like them apples? I never thought this was possible. I can't believe what I can't believe what I'm seeing, and I can't believe what's happening. I can't. It just blows me away. Well, that ends now with Trump. That ends. And I'm going to tell you something. You have to join the force. You have to make sure. Sign on. If you don't get X or Twitter, you're missing it. The stuff that happens like that, it's so fast. It's unedited to the point where, they'll have their obligatory little. But today you've got stories about Joe Rogan, thank God, who turned down Zelensky. I love this. Rob Reiner says, I'm going to leave. AOC, it goes on. Whatever is new, sports, whatever. Remember, the world is not just news. You have to become an expert in this. And you have to turn off Fox News and everything else, whether it's Newsman, it's okay, it's nice. But I want to get to the serious stuff. I want to get to 9/11, geoengineering, everything they tell us you can't talk about, everything. Is there anyone here who actually believes the official narrative of 9/11? Anybody? Now, I don't know what the truth is. I can't tell you who did what, when, what the reasons were, but does anybody actually believe in the official narrative of 9/11? Do you believe that? About the people and the reason how the towers fell in Building 7, which nobody talks about, Flight 93 in Shanksville, the Pentagon. Anybody believe this? Nobody believes this. Nobody. So why are we saying it? Why do we have to pretend like we got to sit? Just like all of a sudden people are now saying everything that we knew about COVID is true. Everything. And it's no big deal. Bobby Kennedy, they're yelling at him and screaming, including that miserable, those awful, those horrible, that sister Rory Kennedy. They all, I don't mean to make fun of their voices, but they sound like harridans, witches. Who are these people? Who are the Kennedys? But they were right. Everything we suspected, we were right. We've had enough of this. This is it. I'm telling you. And the people that are going to rise to the top, all of a sudden, Bobby Kennedy, Vivek Ramaswamy, go down the list. Even J.D. Vance and others. Bhattacharya is the greatest one ever. NIH head. Oh my God, this is so big. Matt Gaetz, that was a mistake. Doesn't really matter. But Hegseth, okay, well, whatever. I don't care. Because the people who are really running this show, they're there. Tom Homan, God bless him. Just go down the list. Go down the list. And Elon Musk changes everything. I want you to understand what I'm saying. He changes Everything. Do you understand this? Now, what you've got to also do too, if you think you're going to sit back and just tweet or weigh in, you have to get on your email and send letters or phone, even call your representatives. Nobody does that, and they know it. You're too busy. We're too busy. Oh, well, oh, there. Oh, I sure. Hey, I like that tweet. Who gives a shit about that? Doesn't matter. Listen to me. We're winning. You understand what I'm saying? We are winning. Don't ever forget that. But we've got to be vigilant and we've got to own the show the same way APAC does, the same way they did it. They own Washington. They're brilliant. Listen to Elise Stefanik. She just goes crazy. And if anybody mentions Israel, say, what the hell are you doing? Why don't you move to Israel? I don't want to move to Israel. Oh, you talk more about Israel than you do our country. I don't understand this. I can say if you said about the United States what you said about Israel, we think you're crazy. We slam the United States government all day long, but you can't Israel because that's anti-Semitic. That's power. Oh, I'm not upset with it. I admire that. I admire that, and I want that. I want people to tremble in fear if they dare go against Trump or dare go against us. That's it. I want them to be primaried. I want Liz Kruger to say, what the hell was I thinking? Liz, you're through. You've got like 10 different people. They just announced they're going to run against you. You'll never make it. Why? Because of this nonsense you pulled about. You want to secede from no. So that's what we're going to do, my friends. You understand? That's what we're going to do. Follow the truth. And do me a favor, get angry. And Howie and Crypto, thank you. And William Stracina, thank you. And don't forget, follow me. Make sure you are subscribed here to Lionel Legal, okay? And also Lionel Nation. I can't say it enough. You understand what I'm saying? And I understand I appreciate you. We need you. Don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up your anger. Don't give up. I'm telling you, things have changed drastically. All right, dear friends. Friends. Have a great and glorious day. See you next time. And don't forget, until then, remember, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.